find some sort of harmony and balance.
What's up, everybody? BC here. Welcome back to another video. So I want to make a particular podcast today and video in regards to how to help you get better at anything. And what I mean by that is whether you're listening to this and you're in sales, real estate, anything, doesn't matter, right? If you follow me, I truly believe that you are looking to better yourself. And I want to give you some tips on this journey to help steer you in the right direction, because a lot of people, I think they're confused on the state of the world and how and what it takes to really get good at something, whatever it is that they choose, okay? So let's start with this. A lot of times people are on the quest to become better at something. Let's say it's a skill, right? In my case, if you follow me, let's say it's communication, right? And they think they need to be these hoarders of like you know the show Hoarders, where people stack too much shit in their house and it's like inhabitable, right? So when I say hoarder, that's what I mean. Hoarder in the sense that they think they need to go out, scour the world, and like just accumulate as much information as possible. They think if they go on YouTube, it's just information. They think if they pay for coaching or a course or a book, it's just information, right? And I'm bringing this up first because you need to understand that we are already in the era of information, and it's very accessible to you. So that in itself has no value, right? We're not in the dark ages anymore where getting a hold of something, finding the strategy, the how-to, the 1, 2, 3, building your business, whatever it is, like you're not in the dark anymore. All that stuff, so that has like zero or very little value now, the information, right? And I'm saying that because I still see people when they message me or I have like street level conversations with people, they bring that up. It's like, dude, it's not the information, right? It's not the information. So if we're gonna talk specifically skills, right? With skill, we're talking results, implementation, right? And then experience, right? And when I say experience, that's twofold. When you read a book, you get a coach, right? You're getting a certain level of experience from people. In a book, they're telling you a story. In a coach, they're more hands-on with you, right? A mentor, whatever you want to call it. They're working with that. They're teaching you and having that perspective of, okay, you're 6 months experience or less. I'm 20 years experience. Let me guide you, right? You read a book, you're hearing about potentially the experience that the person had. They're not teaching you per se, but they're sharing their experience with you. It's not just information, right? And that's really the focus here when it comes to this, if we're going to contrast it with information, because when you make that tweak and you even view it from that standpoint, like, okay, I'm getting this book for the experience, I'm getting this coach, you know, for their experience and guidance, right? It begins to shift, because I see a lot of people will look at certain books or coaching or any kind of help and just say, well, you know, it's just like, what information am I going to get? I'm like, dude, your buying criteria, or more importantly, your searching criteria is off. It's not information. And I know for some people this might shock them. It's not information. We can practically Google, Yahoo, or whatever, anything at this point. Now, we don't know in some cases what's true and what's not, right? Yet it's so accessible to you on your phone. And your phone works on most places in this planet, does it not? So make that tweak, right? And once you do, it's different. I'm looking for experience. I'm looking for also being under the tutelage of people. So when I want to acquire a skill, another thing I want to do is get in close proximity of people who are excellent at that skill, which is what I did early on. I got a coach right away, constantly going to events, constantly meeting people, looking for new things, getting in the room, right? And getting out of my comfort zone and pushing myself, right? We will limit ourselves on the second point to just, well, what's easy for us, right? And this is where you have to make a distinction for you. Are you taking what's given to you, or are you going out and getting the best of the best? It's very easy to look on your phone, go on YouTube, listen to a podcast. What are you going to do to get in proximity of the high-level people and what it is that you want to get good at? Because you're not going to do it with the click of a button, right? And in many cases, you have to spend a lot of resources, time, money, energy, right? You might have to go to the event. You might have to meet certain people. You might have to get on a flight and go somewhere. You might have to pay a substantial amount of money. I don't know. Now, that stuff for me, although it was uncomfortable, it wasn't out of my limits. I was going to do it because I wanted to get around, learn from, and get under the tutelage of these people who were the best at what they did, at whatever it took. Like whatever it took. But see, that was a priority to me. The skill that we're talking about, this acquisition of the skill, being good at whatever that was the most important thing to me. Like bar none. Everything else came second to that. And when you're on that type of quest and you have that type of focus, hyper focus and commitment, it becomes easy to take those steps. We're on calls, myself and my team, every day with customers, right? Or potential people looking to sign up on our stuff that are always backpedaling. Well, it's like, dude, you're so indecisive and not committed. It's ridiculous, but look at the results. You said for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 6 years, it's been the same, yet you don't want to change. That comes down to that, right? You're looking for information, apparently, right? Which is flawed. But secondly, you're not taking it to the level that you need to take it to become the top whatever percent in the skill. And just so you guys know, as time goes on, like as time continues to go, that gap gets bigger and bigger, meaning like being above average maybe 10 or 20 years ago was good enough to maybe make you good money. Now it's not. You have to be excellent, right? All these standards keep going up and you need to raise yourself with it. If you're not and you're staying the same, you're actually declining, because by staying the same, which you really don't, that standard is being risen continuously. So again, you're getting worse by virtue of that, right? Which is why this is a continuous process. Continuous. Because the third point is tied to that, which is some people will tap in, right? They'll plug in, they'll start doing what they're doing, and then they get a little dose of improvement and success, and suddenly they can throw everything out the window. It's like, no, dude. When that happens, you commit more to the process. You get in proximity more times. You do more. You give more effort. You double down on your skill acquisition or whatever that journey is, right? And you take it to another level, because that's what it takes. The people who keep climbing to the top, the people who are the cream of the crop, the people who we admire, the people who we look up to, are on it all the time. Like right now, my schedule and commitment to my rituals and what I do, I guarantee you, is more strict and disciplined than the supposed hungry rookie who's willing to do whatever it takes. And I know because I've talked to a lot of people, and when I tell them that I do, it's like, dude, I mentioned, I'm like, you're supposedly back against the wall, starving, hungry, broke, you'll do whatever it takes. Yet I'm working harder than you, and I've already, in quotes, made it in your eyes. How is that possible? What? But we just view this thing differently. My example and standard of excellence is different than that individual's, which is another reason they need to be in proximity of us and learn from us and be a part of the tribe, because then that spills over to them automatically. You've heard the old saying, you are like the sum of the 5, 6, 7 people or whatever that you spend time with. Well, the beauty of today is you can spend time with people, and you could even do it online. We can connect on a call, where before you would have to fly out and see me in person. Isn't that incredible? That I could, pay money or join this meeting or this event and see and interact with certain people. That to me is just like even more sense of urgency to do it, because it's like, man, it's so much easier now. It's so much more accessible, right? Cool. So we're rocking and rolling, right? Decision-making process, some of the things that we need to do additionally, right? When you guys are improving in this area, you need to understand also, as much as we improve one area, there has to be a kind of like I want to say like a windshield wiper motion of this needs to sweep into everything, right? So let's say, okay, I start business. I got into real estate and entrepreneurship 10 years ago officially, right? Got my real estate license, committed to it, et cetera, right? From that moment forward, everything about me had to change. I also had to develop myself, where all the reading, courses, coaching events came. I also stepped it up when it came to my physical fitness and health, which I'd already been doing at a high level, but I took it up another notch. Also, in my understanding and processing and maturing in the emotional sector of my life, right? All these things, it wasn't just one. It wasn't, I'm going to work on my business and everything else goes to shit. No, it needs to be unanimous. It needs to be everything needs to get better. You need to step up in every category. Yes, the reason all this started was for your business. Yes, you wanted to push in that one particular category. However, it has to be a sweeping type of thing where every area gets better. Why? This is what provides longevity, and this is what stops people from burning out, and this is what stops people from getting in a state where they do see some improvements in one area, but then it eventually peaks out because every other area has been neglected and it's suffering, right? A big one here is social, because if your skill has something to do with socializing and communicating, one of those things needs to be a revolution and absolute transformation of your ability to communicate at a high level, period. That is important. If you do not get comfortable and proficient at relating to other human beings, especially the opposite sex, you will suffer as a man especially, but just as a human being in general. We're in one of the biggest turmoils right now in the world because men and women especially do not know how to communicate with each other. And it's sad. I've been talking about it for years. It got shunned. It got got me deplatformed. That was one of the many things. Now it seems to be popular in pop culture where they talk about holding men and women accountable. It's like, where did that come from, right? I got kicked off the internet for that, and now it's popular. It's crazy, right? So it's popping up for a reason, though. I don't play too much in that world, but I come from it in the sense that I've studied it extensively, and I really have, been in that world for a long time. When it comes to relationships and social dynamics and male and female dynamic and all that stuff, like that's one of the reasons that I think that what I teach is so good, because I understand evolutionary psychology and all these things that people refuse to study or only know surface level information about. There's a big difference there, right? So get good in everything, because had I not in that one category improved, social dynamics, communication, I wouldn't be where I'm at on social media. My real estate business would have never taken off the way that it did. I would struggle more as an entrepreneur. I mean, I can't tell you, same thing with health and fitness. If I wasn't as healthy and as strong as I am now, I wouldn't have the energy and commitment and focus to sustain what I'm doing, because my vessel would be tainted, right? So understand, guys, that these are little pieces, right? Shifts in your mindset, perspective, actions, right? But really it's a realization that what we're doing presently and what we were taught got us to where we're at, but it's going to have to change to keep growing. And that's a consistent change. You don't make a couple changes and see improvement and then suddenly you go back to doing nothing. No, that's a constant evolution and change. You have to keep evolving, keep changing, and keep getting better over and over. And eventually you start getting to these higher levels and it's better. Now that polarity shifts. That's now your comfort zone. Your comfort zone now is conducive to your growth versus before it wasn't. A lot of people don't talk about that. That flips eventually. How do I know this? Well, all the activities that used to be uncomfortable to you that lead to your growth and evolution, now you've adopted and it's become comfortable for you to do that and uncomfortable for you not to do it. It's flipped. So now your automatic mode is improve, progress, push the comfort zone, right? Versus before it wasn't. You would shy away from it. Right? That's the last little nugget I want to give you, because eventually it does become automatic to do these things to a degree, right? Not totally, but to a degree, because it's patterned in you as a human being. And we all know that human beings are just an accumulation of a bunch of patterns, right? Because it makes our system more efficient and easier to run if we pattern things, and it doesn't always have to think about what it's going to do next. Okay? So thank you for joining me here today, guys. Hopefully this helped you. And I do want to see you make massive improvements in any and every area of your life. If you're interested in coming to my in-person events, teambcevents.com, hit me up if you don't have the links to all the webinars that I'm doing typically on Sundays. And as always, you're welcome to go to bryancasellacoaching.com if you want to check out all the services that I have to offer. Okay? That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.